Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the weekly Roundup with Mountaineers' all-time winningest head football coach, Tim Camp. Coach Camp is currently in year 15 at the helm with the Mounties. Coach, thanks for joining me again. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so let's dive into this week's Roundup. Starting with last week's game, we had a little in-state rivalry action as the Mountaineers took on the Southern Oregon University Raiders at home. SOU struck first with 4 touchdowns in the first half, but the Mounties came to life in the second half, starting with a huge punt block by George Belowski that he was able to pick up, take into the end zone for a scoop and score. He almost had another one a few drives later on a punt block unit, just missing a tackle on SOU's own goal line after a high snap, so he almost had another big one there. But regardless, he had a great game on special teams. A couple drives later, Drew Reyes found the end zone on a quick screen pass thanks to some great blocking. Unfortunately, Mounties couldn't keep that momentum going, and SOU took the win 42-14. What were your thoughts on the game, Coach?
Well, I thought we got started slow, obviously, and that's something that we don't want to obviously do. But at the same time, to be able to show the resilience, to be able to come back out in the second half and really win the third quarter. And again, you just said it. We had all the momentum in the world, and I think that special teams play in the tango area, the punt block with JJ blocking the punt and then coming back a couple of series later and really stressing the snapper and the punter, and the ball goes and it rolls down to the goal line. And I mean, he was just a hair away from making something big happen again. So credit him. That's why he was a special forces player of the game. And again, an individual performance right there. Credit Southern Oregon to be able to get the ball out there and punt it out. And Parker Robinson saved us a bunch of yards right there by being able to step up and catch it. But at the same time, it's 26-14 with 8 minutes left, right? We got to be able to put our defense out on the field and be able to stop a drive, to continue that momentum, right? And again, I think that it's situational football. We need to be better. I need to be better when it comes to situational football, just to make sure that I know our kids understand what they're in, but we need to make sure that we're doing things correctly all the time, and it's not just another play. And that's been the message all this week. Hey, we're going to take play by play. We're going to do it one thing at a time. I want to be sound in what I do assignment-wise on both sides of the ball and in the special teams game, so we can make sure again that we're putting our best foot forward for the very, very next play. No matter what just happened, what are we going to do the next play? It could be good, bad, or indifferent. But again, as I go through this and I'm looking at where we're at right now, I'm not wavering, not one bit, because at the end of the day, we're going to put a football team out there and we're going to put them in the best possible situations to make plays. And then, as I've always said, coaches coach, playmakers make plays. So we're going to give them that opportunity to do so.
Right on. That's pretty simple way to put it for sure, but it sums it up well. One thing we did see this weekend, we saw Tanner Sweek actually come in and take over at quarterback, and he found some success with a passing touchdown. He ran the ball pretty well, and for not having a lot of in-game reps this season, he looked pretty comfortable in the pocket. And we saw Carson Bonning and Luke Ross on the sidelines and pennies. What's the quarterback situation looking like here as we cross the midway point of the season?
Well, yeah, we are midway, and I'm looking for a guy to step up and take the job, right, and keep the job. I think that's the big thing for us right now is just the continuity of having a guy who's going to be able to step up and do the job and do it well and do it at a high level like we've done for the last 16 years here at Eastern Oregon, right? To be able to own just about every record in the record book for offensive, yards. Quarterbacks are littered through it all, and I think that's I'm not living in the past, but I know what we do and I know how we work. I know that the job is there, it's open, and I'm just looking for somebody to step up and take it. And again, they all do something special in their own way, but at the same time, I was really, really proud of Tanner Sweek to be able to come in the game, and he sees a lot of things, and being able to move the ball. And the thing that we didn't do offensively was we didn't finish. We could move the ball, but we didn't finish the drives all the time. And I think that's something, that it's been a continuous thing. Hey, you can move the ball, but now, hey, you got a penalty. Those are the things that we got to be able to overcome and have integrity, be a man man of your word. Hey, I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability each and every play. But at the quarterback spot, we have the competition going. I mean, I think until one guy steps up and says, hey, you know what, I'm going to take the reins and I'm going to run and I'm going to lead our offense, and we're going to get back to how Eastern Oregon scores and get back to how Eastern Oregon gets the first downs and do that. So I saw some bright spots, and I was excited to be able to see those bright spots. And again, super excited for Tanner.
Yeah, as you said, each quarterback, we've seen good things from every single one of them. But and as you also said, we saw, the offense is moving the ball, and it seemed like, part of that this weekend was a big jump in the usage of the screen game. We saw quite a bit of that, and it had some success. Was that something you guys saw on the tape leading up to the game, or something you're just trying to, use a new game plan to switch things up a little bit?
Yeah, so I'm never going to lock my knees on anything. I want to be able to put our kids out there with the ability to do something that may be different, but that our kids can do. And I think that's something that we can be great at. We're getting a lot of twist game in the box. We're getting a lot of pressures. There, the box is usually loaded. They're trying to stop the run, and then all of a sudden, so we got to be able to stand up and pass the ball. So as you look at our offense, you probably saw a lot of shifts in motion. You probably saw a lot of screen game. So at the end of the day, I'm going to put out there and I'm going to change, and I'm going to be able to adapt to who we have. Right? I know I want to be an inside zone. I know I want to be a stretch. I know I want to be pinball toss, and I want to be a play action pass team. That's what I want to do. At times we can do all those things, but there's other times where if you just say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna put this round peg in a square hole, and this is who we are, the outcome's not going to be what you want. So we're going to do everything we can to put our kids in a position and find what they are good at, find what coaches are good at, find what the head coach is good at, and let's build on those things. And then so you're gonna see a lot of different things, and it's not grasping, it's all in our playbook, but at the same time, let's take advantage of the things that the defense has given us also. Right,
absolutely. I think, yeah, like you said, when people are bringing the heat, that's a great way to kind of put a stop to that or slow them down a little bit at least. So
without a doubt, it helps our quarterback out too. It helps our line out. It helps everybody out. It helps the fans cheer for a touchdown. I mean, it all works hand in hand.
Absolutely. Well, let's turn the page and look towards this next week. How's that sound? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so for Week 7, Mountaineers are going to be heading up to Billings, Montana to take on the Rocky Mountain College Battling Bears. Rocky is currently sitting at second in the conference at 4-1 on the season and just moved up to number 17 in the national polls this week. They stuck it to Montana Western pretty good, 41-26 last week. Rocky's averaging about 34 points a game and over 400 yards of offense per game. This is another team with a pretty balanced attack with a strong run and pass game. Part of that's junior quarterback George Tribble. He's taken over the last couple of games for Rocky and has kind of helped take that offense up a notch. Of course, in the backfield, they have a big threat in Zaire Wilcox, too, the sophomore running back who's averaging over 100 yards a game rushing. What's the outlook on this week, and what are your thoughts heading into this game?
Well, the big thing with Rocky Mountain is, they it's kind of that double-edged sword, right? They can throw the ball, and they have some good skill kids out there that have great ball skills, but they've also developed a really, really nice run game, right? So I don't think that anybody in the conference is ever going to stop them, but I think that the ability to be able to slow them down and get them behind the sticks is going to be something that's going to be really, really important as we move forward into this game, because again, they used to be a really, really pass-happy group. I think Chris has done a really good job of balancing them out. I think their quarterback that's come in the game, the Tribble kid, has done a good job, and he facilitates really, really well. So, again, a great balanced attack. So, again, our job is to make sure that we're lined up correctly. And when you have a play to be made, we got to be able to make our play, right? So, and then offensively, they're versus us. They're a defense, a very opportunistic defense, right? They are really good in a lot of different areas. They run to the ball really, really well. But at the same time, I do believe that if we play our game, and be able to do the things that we do, we can create things for our offense that is going to be able to help to play team football in this game. So I'm excited about the opportunity. I'm excited to get on the bus. I'm excited to go to Billings, Montana, and to be able to bring a group of guys guys up there that we got to find a way to come together, and continue to preach that one play at a time, to be able to make your play when it's there, to be able to go out and just lay it all out on the line and be able to be a team that at the end of the day, as you come off the field, you feel really, really good about the product that you put out there, right? And again, it's by how we coach, it's how we play, it's how we carry ourselves. We got Eastern across our chest, so we're gonna try and represent the university and the families and the friends and all the fans that have been supporting us. I can't say enough about that, but to continue to fight the good fight and scratch and claw, and let's figure out a way to get this thing right. And nobody said it's ever gonna be easy. Nobody, right? But it's so going to be worth it at the end of the day. Yeah, and that's been the message I've been telling these kids all week. This is my 24th year in college football, 6 different universities, and we've been faced with these things in the past, where you're at and how you're doing it. But the only way that you will ever become or be a loser or to be tagged in is if you just stop and you stop trying. So I'm pretty proud about these kids. We're going back out to practice every single day. We're trying to get better. We're in the weight room. We're in the classroom. We're doing the things that is going to help climb our way out of the hole that we've dug.
Right. Yeah. It's also, you got to credit the conference as well. I mean, it's these games each week you're going against great teams. I mean, if you look at the conference, it's proven to be one of the best of the country. At the rankings each week, it seems like there's 3 to 4 teams in this conference that are in the top 25 every week. So it's obviously a tough conference to play in, and so resilience and grit, that's going to be a huge part of bouncing back, right?
Yeah, it's awesome because I'm also the national rater for the Frontier Conference and for the NAIA, and I get a chance to see all these teams, and I do research on all these teams. So it kind of helps me as far as building game plans. But I try and keep five teams in the top 25 each week to be able to push the conference. So we are battle tested, we are battle proven as we get into the later half of the season. So you're exactly right. This is in my opinion the best conference. And being here as long as I have, to be able to watch the teams that go, we were part of those teams that go to the playoffs, to be able to push and get into the playoffs. Our teams will represent the Frontier Conference on a national scale every single week. So at the end of the day, yeah, you got to be ready each week because you're going to get the best from whatever team that you play. But at the same time, you are playing some of the best teams in the country, each and every week, and we look forward to that. I think that's something that you would want to be able to do each week, to be able to get tested every single week and to see if you got better, to see if you made progress. And those are the things that I'm looking for from our football program, is to make sure that we are making progress, and if we need to adjust something, that we need to adjust it. So those are just a continuing in coaching, and I know everybody knows that, but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the progress is being made week to week, day to day, practice to practice, play to play.
Right. Great stuff. Last question I got for you, Coach, as always, how we end every week. What's you mentioned that Rocky got a double-edged sword and a good balanced offense. I mean, what are the 3 big things going into this game that you're focusing on taking on Rocky Mountain?
Well, the big thing is we got to slow them down. Like I said, I don't think that you're ever going to be able to stop them. They do have a really, really good attack, but to be able to slow them down, and I'm not just talking about the defense. I'm talking about the offense, right? Being able to keep them and limit them to possession. So it was number one was to be able to slow them down, limit their possessions. The other thing is for the offense to continue drives and be able to move the football and to be able to score points. And then their final and third thing is, hey, it's one play at a time, right? And let's make sure that we are seeing what we know that we're seeing and be able to take it one play at a time, one drive at a time, one series at a time, and break the game down so we're just not looking, hey, you got 60 minutes, so let's go. So those would be the 3 things that I would identify, and continue to fight the good fight and scratch and claw and do what you got to do so you're successful. And the next best play is the very next play, right? Whatever happens, right? I got the next play mentality going forwards in this one.
Right. Awesome. Great stuff, Coach. Appreciate it. As always, thank you for your time, Coach.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody supporting the Mounties, and come watch us when we come home the next time. I appreciate you.
Yeah, next time the Mounties will be at home will be homecoming, so mark that day on your calendar here in a couple weeks. But for this weekend, the Mountaineers are going to be taking on Rocky Mountain College at 1 p.m. Mountain Time this coming Saturday on the road for their 7th contest of the season. You can find links for all game day coverage on the football schedule at EOUsports.com. Thanks again for joining us on the weekly roundup. Don't forget to follow Mountaineer Athletics on all of its social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube by searching at EOU Athletics. We'll see you next week, Mountie Nation.